What's up guys, in this tutorial I will show you the best settings for Warzone to increase your performance while keeping a great visual quality. This should be quite an easy tutorial. For more information, click on the first link in the description below. In the Graphics tab, you can preview your expected VRAM usage for Warzone and multiplayer on the bottom right. This is a good indicator when applying your display and quality settings, and you should try to lower your VRAM usage below this max line. Make sure to set your window mode to full screen. I have set it to borderless to make it easier to record. This will in any way prevent micro stutters and will help keep a better frame rate. Set the screen refresh rate to the refresh rate of your monitor. You can only change this setting when in full screen mode, and it will use your current display refresh rate when using windowed or borderless mode. Below, you will want to use a render resolution of 100. For low-end PCs or laptops, you might want to lower this to around 90%, which will increase your FPS by a lot, but the visual quality will suffer a lot the lower you set this. As you can see, your VRAM usage will change a lot when decreasing or increasing this setting. Next, enable the dynamic resolution option in order to allow the game to adjust your render resolution to keep a more stable target frame rate. I will set my target frame rate to 120, as my screen refresh rate option is set to 100. Set the aspect ratio to automatic, which will use your native monitor aspect ratio. You should make sure to disable VSync, as it can look like your frame rate will have reduced by a lot. In case you are able to utilize a high-end graphics card and reach a high frame rate, then you might want to enable this option to get a better viewing experience. Set the custom frame rate limit to custom, and then expand your FPS options. I will set my gameplay custom frame rate limit to 140, as everything above would be a waste of performance for my PC. You will want to set this option above your dynamic resolution frame rate target, but below the maximum FPS you can get. The menu custom frame rate limit should be set to around 60, and the out of focus FPS option will be set to 30 by default, which is more than enough. The brightness option will have no impact on your performance, so set this option according to your preference. When using an NVIDIA graphics card, and these last options are available to you, then make sure to enable your NVIDIA highlights and NVIDIA Reflex low latency settings. When this is done, we will take a look at your quality settings. I like to use an FOV of 100 and the ADS FOV to independent, which will use the usual FOV increase when aiming down sights. When setting this option to affected, then your FOV will decrease according to your FOV setting above. Under Details and Textures, you will want to set your streaming quality and texture quality options according to your expected VRAM usage. Especially your texture resolution will have a lot of impact on your gaming performance. Low-end PCs should run better when setting the streaming quality to normal and texture resolution to low or even very low. Set the Texture Filter Anisotropic option to normal, particle quality to high, as it will have less impact on your performance. Bullet impacts and sprays can be enabled if you don't find them distracting, and set the tessellation option to near, which will only apply tessellation to near objects on a map. Your on-demand texture streaming setting will enable you to change how much of your network connection will be used to update your game with new textures. This will largely depend on your network connection. The default values should work fine for most users. In your post-processing effects section, make sure to set most of these options according to your preference. When using an NVIDIA RTX card, then you should make use of the NVIDIA DLSS option. When setting this option to balanced, then your GPU will help increase the performance and image quality of the game. If you want to disable anti-aliasing, then you will also have to disable the NVIDIA DLSS option, so make sure to play a game and see what looks best to you. I prefer to disable the world motion and weapon motion blur settings. Under Shadow and Lighting, I like to lower the first 3 shadow options to a minimum. Disable DirectX ray tracing, set the ambient occlusion option to dynamic objects, and finally, disable screen space reflections to get the most performance. If you want to preview your CPU and GPU utilization while in-game, then I suggest using your built-in Xbox Game Bar overlay. When using the shortcut Windows key and G, you will be able to pin this performance window anywhere on your screen, and when using the shortcut again, it will stay on your main screen. You can preview your CPU and GPU utilization in %, as well as your VRAM and RAM usage. In case you have any further issues or problems following this tutorial, then I suggest following my extensive guide linked in the description below. I hope this helped you out. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and see you in the next one.